So let me take you back to 2016 for a moment. Here I am, on stage, doing my thing. At first glance, it looks like I've got it all figured out, right? The audience is seeing a woman who put in the hours and crafted this routine with a lot of sweat and determination. But here's the thing, behind that stage presence, I was going through a lot. It wasn't just about being the leanest on stage. Life was throwing all sorts of shit, and I was just trying to keep my head above water. Every pose was like a little victory. I was smiling, but there was a whole lot of shit going on that nobody could see. Hell, not even me. I was figuring things out, one step at a time, just like we all do. So, this is my story, a journey of picking up the pieces and finding my way back. So, grab your protein coffee, settle in, maybe do some cardio, and let's dive into my adventure together.
Hello. Oh my god, this feels weird. It's been a long time since I've done this. So I decided 2025, it's time for me to come back to competing. It's been 8 years. My last show was the Max Fit in 2016. And I was competing in figure. Best package that I brought, but I realized that a little bit after the show, I was working on getting myself together for my first pro qualifier. I honestly couldn't remember which one I was planning on doing, but had a close call, ended up passing out while I was trying to do squats. So luckily I had a safety rack, but I ended up passing out. I went back in to find out that I had another episode of my vertigo basically happening. So when I bend over too quickly or I get into a weird position and then get up really quickly, I will get severely dizzy. Really needed to get that squared away. Especially, I realized that my health is very freaking important. So I wasn't planning on taking like this long hiatus away from competing, but the first thing and foremost, like I wanted to make sure that my health was good, you know. But in that process, I decided to make that decision to step away for a little bit and focus on my general health and making sure that my medical conditions were under control. So that's what I did. I did a lot of physical therapy. I was also in the military during that time, so they decided to med board me, which is a medical board, to determine if I even can stay in the military, or they feel like I should stay in the military, which as a result they actually medically retired me in 2019, which is fine. I realized that things happen for a reason, and it was a blessing in disguise because my now husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, got a job offer in California, so we ended up leaving after I retired to California so he could start his job, and I decided to go back to school, and I was working on my double major. So went to USC for my undergrad for real estate development, and just finished in December with my master's in construction management. So it was very hectic for us to be in California. We're not from the West Coast at all, so it was a very weird and different environment for us. But I will say, and I'll admit, that I went into some depression phases here and there. My anxiety On top of that, I lived about 90 miles from school, so on school days, I was literally living in my car while we were living in California for the most part, because I was always driving either to or from school or an internship that I had in the summer. So pretty much I felt alone. I was always gone away from my family for hours on end each day. But I had a goal in mind that this is what needed to be done to better the unit, to better the family. So my 1.5-year hiatus that I decided to take initially while I got my health together ended up being a 8-year hiatus. Crazy enough, right? How life works like that. Oh, and on top of that, while I was double majoring, I had my second daughter, which was even more crazy that I was pregnant while I was commuting 2 hours on a good day from home to school, all in that process. So when I look back on it now, I'm just like, dude, I'm fucking superwoman. So it is what it is. Like, my priorities were where they needed to be at, and now that I'm done, I'm grateful that I have a job, and I'm happy where I'm at as a real estate analyst for this company that I'm working for. And I was able to move my family where we wanted to move at. So we moved to Michigan in June of last year, and I decided at that point I will focus on getting my weight back in control, getting control of my life, getting control of feeling like me again. For the last 6 years, it's just been not really focusing on my wants or needs necessarily. It was more focusing on the betterment of my family, my kids, my husband. And I lost myself in that process, which is where the depression came. I decided to go and talk to my doctor to figure out, okay, am I good? Am I still clear to do this? Can I lift heavy without feeling like something's gonna happen? And my doctor said, short answer is, you never know what's gonna happen. You really need to listen to your body. Listen to what it's saying. If it feels wrong, then don't do it, and not to overdo it. And I do remember, like, my last show, come hell or high water, I really wanted to do that show. So it wasn't the healthiest prep, but again, it was a lesson learned. I realized it's not something I necessarily want to do this prep, and I'm not going to force myself to do a show. I'm kind of just trusting the process right now and enjoying the process, like seeing the changes without feeling the pressure of, okay, I picked a show. I do have a show or two in mind if I can do it, but again, it's not that I'm trying to give myself an excuse to not do a show. It's more like, I'm going to do everything I can in a healthy manner, in a healthy way to do that show. But if it doesn't work out, then that's okay, because there are other shows that I could definitely do in 2026 at the beginning of the year, beginning of season, right? So it's not the end of the world that if I don't do a show in 2025, I'm going to feel like a failure. Hopefully, as long as my body cooperates, then maybe I'll do the show. But if I don't feel ready, or I don't feel it's still enough time to get ready, then I won't. Like, it is what it is, right? But yeah, so the two shows that I do have in mind is, oh my God, what is it called? One's in October. It's the not Western States, Central States. Sorry if I got that wrong. And then the other one is Western Michigan, which I believe is like the first week in November. So those are the two shows that I wanted to look at. So again, if it's not something feasible, then it is what it is. I would love to do the Arnold Classics next year. That's kind of the goal of why I wanted to do these shows, because at least if I compete in it, then I can prep myself for the Arnold Masters. Because I would be 40 years old at that point. So the way I'm looking at it is this, is do the show October or November, just to dust off the cobwebs, just to get all of that crap, just the jitters the first time. Like, it's been 8 freaking years. And I'm doing a new division. I decided I'm not going to do figure. I really wanted to do wellness. And the reason being is that I was always told and taught by someone who I look up to very, very much to always challenge yourself by working on the weakest areas. And for me, I hated legs. I am like not that woman who was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do legs all day, every day. I know I'm being exaggerating a little bit because I know it's not an everyday thing, but fuck, like these 3 days was unheard of for me. I'm like, man, fuck that. Let me work my back. Let me work my arms, my shoulders. Like, I loved working my upper body very, very much so. And like, I fucking hated it. I did it because I had to. So I wanted to shift my focus a little bit and be like, you know what? I'm going to learn to love the shit out of some fucking leg days, right? And I felt like the only way that I'm going to be able to do that is to really just dive in head first and do a division that really, really determines on your legs, right? So I accepted that challenge, and honestly, I started lifting January after the holidays, and since then, like, I freaking love my legs now. I love my legs. I love the small little progress details that I'm starting to see. So again, I am just sitting here thinking about my first show and hoping that I can do one of the 2 shows later on this year in October or November in Michigan, just to get the dust off and just like, this is what I learned. So moving forward, doing the Arnold in Ohio in 2026 as a master, just to be on a stage with quality judging, getting quality feedback. Now, with that being said, Masters is new to me, because the last show that I did, I was not qualified to do a Masters division because I wasn't old enough. So I'm kind of, I wouldn't say lost or, well, maybe, no, I wouldn't say lost or confused. I just don't know, and I would like to know more about how to go about, since it's been so long since I competed. Like, is open, and hit me up if you guys know this, but is the open category the only way that a competitor could really earn their IFBB pro card? Like, is there a master's route that I could utilize now that I'm turning 40 that I could get my IFBB pro card? And what does that look like? Like, because I got my IFBB pro card in the Masters division, am I only allowed to compete in Masters only divisions and not the open at that point? Or like, what is that? What does that look like? And the reason I'm asking is because I don't know, and I've been away from the sport. It kind of depressed me to watch it and see others coming up, my friends coming up, which I'm so happy for them. It's just at the same time, it's like, man, like, that could have been me. That could have been, like, I could have been up there with them at this point, because we all started competing together, and they're all pros. It's hard. Sometimes it does get to me. That could have been me, because we all started at the same time. But life happens, right? Shit happens. What are you gonna do? You get up and you fucking do what you gotta do. But yeah, if you guys know, like, how that, like, what that looks like, or how that works, now that I am at that stage in my life that like I do, or I can do a master's division, what is the path? How's that look for me? You know what I mean? What are my options? Do I have to compete in open in order for me to get my pro card, or is there a master's pathway as well? Let me know. But lastly, as you can see, I'm driving. I'm heading down to Ypsilanti to a competitors appreciation workshop. Because I'm in a new division and I'm in a new location, I don't know anybody here. I don't have any friends. I haven't really met any friends here who like compete or anything. So it's nice for me to see who's here, maybe meet some like-minded people who are in the area, just because I don't know anybody really. I kind of stick to myself at the gym. There are a few people at the other gym that I go to when I work from home. More old school, like the old school feel, iron gym, bodybuilding gym. It doesn't feel like a lifestyle fitness gym, if that makes sense. So I really like the atmosphere at my other gym. And I do plan on switching at some point, like after I get done with my rotation that I work. And then at the end of that rotation, I'm placed in my permanent position. At that point, my schedule will change and I'll be working more from home than at the office. So I'll switch at that point. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I'm going in here, see if I can meet anyone. Maybe there's a trainer, maybe there's a posing coach that I can connect with. Because right now I'm training myself. So far, I've lost quite a bit of weight. Fuck it. I'll be 100% transparent here. In the last 8 years, with the depression, with the medical, with the pregnancy, I shot up to probably the most I have ever been in my freaking life, and I don't think I've ever could have imagined that I would be, especially the fact that like how active I was, how fit I was. I never imagined myself ever hitting 240 pounds as my highest weight ever. Again, depression fucking sucks, and it takes a toll and it manifests in so many ways, but that's how it manifested in me, is that I gained so much weight, and that just compounded the depression even more. Because now I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm looking at a shell that I don't even recognize, and I don't know who this person is that's staring back at me. And this is more about taking back control of my life, taking back control of who I am. So far, I've lost 30, oh my god, math is hard, 34 pounds. I lost 34 pounds so far since November, the day before Thanksgiving and my birthday. So, chiseling away, and I am just trusting the process right now, and I feel good. I feel like slowly but surely, every time I look at myself in the mirror, I'm starting to see myself more and more. I'm starting to see that old self again. So, yeah, heading on down to this workshop, and hopefully I continue on and progress, continue training and learning, relearning, reintroducing myself to my body, and seeing what's under all of this layer of fat that I consolidated in the last 8 years. It's like Christmas, man. Seriously. It's nice. I won't say it's nice because I'm like impatient, but it's nice because like I do love this process. Like when I'm starting to see the faintest lines, I'm like, is that a line? Are you coming out? Are you trying to show yourself? That's nice. That's cool, right? So it's nice in that sense because it's like, oh, what is underneath there? Like I can't wait to see what's underneath. And knowing that like the hard work that I've been putting in the gym and the cardio. And again, I'm not doing a lot of cardio because I'm trying to maintain the muscle that I have so I can grow into this show, whichever show that I decide to do. I'm enjoying the ride. I'm enjoying the journey. But yeah, signing off. Until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.